Brooke Weisbrod also with us. How cool is this? We're going to sit in the same gym today and see the #1 team in the nation and the defending national champion.
The best talent the cream has risen to the top. So we're in for a show for the next 2 days here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, South Carolina has dominated recently in every aspect, but they're seeking their 8th title in the last 10 seasons in this tournament.
It is incredible how Dawn Staley has been able to maintain the success that she has established in Columbia. Look, this is the last undefeated team in Division I, men's or women's, across the country. The only team that has not lost a game. And statistics, top in Division I in points, field goal percentage, scoring margin, and what they get from their reserves. And then Dawn Staley and Camila Cardoso, they have risen to the top, being the best at coaching the game and defending for the Gamecocks.
But Brooke, it has not been easy to face this Tennessee team in the previous 2 meetings. You have to deal with Rickea Jackson, who's averaging 24 points a game versus South Carolina.
And not only is she one of the best players in the country, Courtney, she's also a true student of the game.
I'll see a sports psychiatrist. It actually makes you look at the game a little bit differently. Just like the little things you don't even think about. When you're shooting a free throw, you're breathing, just calming yourself down, or just visualizing things before they happen. I feel like it helps me pick apart the defenders a little bit better. We always do breathing techniques, and I feel like it helps me a lot, especially a person having asthma. I've honestly just attacked every resource that I have.
So in this SEC tournament, Tennessee has seen Sarah Puckett go off for 22 points. Jewel Spear have a perfect 6-for-6 night from 3. And oh yeah, don't forget they have that top 5 projected WNBA draft pick in 5th-year senior Rickea Jackson from Detroit. Jackson soaks up knowledge wherever she can, and she is at Lady Vols playing good basketball and getting sharper by the minute. And if you don't believe me, her mom, Karen Jackson, had a message for y'all. Yesterday morning, she posted, "You have to trust your star player." That's it. That's all.
Absolutely. Listen to her mama. You got to trust her. Look, when you asked Dawn Staley about stopping Rickea Jackson, it's not easy.
And Dawn Staley said Rickea Jackson is not a player you can defend one-on-one. She has got to see multiple bodies when she gets the basketball. She needs to have to feel you defensively.
There's a lot of garnet in here, but there's a lot of orange too. The fan bases have turned out for this semifinal. Sold out crowd here at the Well in Greenville, South Carolina. Sarah Puckett will let the 3-ball fly. Rebound by Bree Hall.
And Tennessee's going to have to hit perimeter shots against this South Carolina defense.
Kitts up and in for South Carolina.
Key stat that I'm following today is rebounding. These are 2 of the better rebounding teams in the country.
They're both top 3 in the SEC in that category in rebounds per game. Jewel Spear waiting on the screen. She's guarded by Raven Johnson. And Spear is short. Tahina Paopao pushing for the Gamecocks.
2 possessions in a row from Tennessee, taking those perimeter shots.
Inside to Camila Cardoso. Back to Kitts. And Tamari Key stops it, but puts it back in the hands of South Carolina. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Bree Hall, pretty, taking over the baseline.
See, paint points for South Carolina. Tennessee's got to find a way to get a bite of the paint.
The party has already started here in Greenville, South Carolina. Our first semifinal in the SEC Tournament. Courtney Lyle, Carolyn Peck, and Brooke Weisbrod with you. Tennessee and South Carolina, these two teams met in the championship game last year. And Rickea Jackson, definitely one to watch when Tennessee is on offense. She's projected as the #3 pick in the WNBA draft.
She has an ability to manufacture points, a 3-level score, and when she gets to going downhill, she is tough to stop.
This will stay with Tennessee. There's .9 on the shot clock.
Tennessee needs to look for a tap. That's all they have time for.
And that's a shot clock violation. South Carolina is the #1 team in the nation. Nobody has been able to beat them. They're 30-0, and you cannot miss Camila Cardoso at 6'7" in the paint for the Gamecocks.
Again, I cannot say it enough of how incredible it is. Dawn Staley has 5 new starters this season, and they are undefeated.
From a team that went to the Final Four last year. Wow.
They look like they're the team that is going to go back. I mean, with the point differential, they've got balance, scoring, and they are tough defensively.
Tennessee looking for its first points. Jasmine Powell waiting on the screen. She's got 8 seconds. Guarded by Pow Pow. Shut down by Pow Pow.
Had a mismatch with Powell on kicks.
Raven Johnson got her own rebound. They'll swing it around to Tahina Pow Pow. Short, second offensive opportunity.
The different South Carolina this year is that they have efficient 3-point scores. They're not afraid to take those long shots.
Sarah Puckett trying to work around 6'7" Camila Cardoso, and this is going to be the Gamecocks basketball. Well, the week started on Wednesday with all 14 SEC teams a shot at making it to Sunday. We are now down to just 4. This semifinal going on right now, South Carolina, Tennessee. Coming up later tonight, Ole Miss and LSU. So we get to see the #1 team in the nation and the defending national champions, and we just have to sit here, Coach Peck.
And we got in for free.
We did.
Would you see the lines of people to get in for today's games?
Wow. It is sold out today and tomorrow.
These folks got here early.
And there's going to be a foul before that one goes out of bounds. That foul on Caroline Strickland of Tennessee, her first. You know, Dawn Staley has talked about getting off to a faster start. How did she want her program to do that today?
Well, it was key on point guard play. She really likes the decisions that Raven Johnson makes, but she wants her to also look for her own shot as well. If the point guard establishes, then that really will open up things for Camila Cardoso.
Yesterday, South Carolina made their debut in this tournament. They defeated Texas A&M 79-68, but had a season-high 24 turnovers in that game.
Well, a Joni Taylor coach Texas A&M team is always going to bring the defense.
Cardoso. That's what 6'7" can do.
Too tough. She's just too tough, and it is nice to watch and see how this young woman has progressed coming into the starting lineup, taking the place of a player like Aaliyah Boston. She has filled those shoes well.
This will stay with Tennessee, who started this game 0 for 7. Now, the first 2 meetings between Tennessee and South Carolina, because this is the 3rd time that they've played this year, they were really close. In fact, in the first meeting, Tennessee led at the half, and then it was tied going into the 3rd quarter, or the 4th quarter.
In the last meeting, within 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, it was a 3-point game. They made a run.
A rematch of last year's SEC Tournament Championship game. That's a turnover.
Dawn Staley has to be pleased with the defensive intensity her Gamecocks have brought.
So Raven Johnson will set things up, number 25 in white. South Carolina wearing their khaki uniforms, an ode to their mascot.
Mylasia Fulwiley is in the game. Number 12, it's at the bottom of your screen.
Bree Hall, Tennessee did a nice job boxing out. Here's Rickea Jackson. Still no points for the Lady Vols. Up ahead to Fulwiley. Are you talking about her, Pep?
I had to let you know Fulwiley was in the game.
She has entered the chat. A highlight reel waiting to happen. Member of the SEC All-Freshman team. The dish to Watkins. Second opportunity gets her to the free throw line. South Carolina, this might be the faster start. Dawn Staley. South Carolina, the #1 team in the nation. Domination is a good word to use. They're the last undefeated team in men's or women's basketball. That was easy for me to say. They're top 5 in all these different categories. It's incredible how balanced this group is. Dawn Staley, the SEC Coach of the Year, rightfully so, and Camila Cardoso, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Camila, one of several stars we have in this game, along with Rickea Jackson. Both are projected to be a top 4 pick in the WNBA draft, which is coming up on April 15th.
And I think that the stock of both of the players from the SEC, in Rickea Jackson and Camila Cardoso, their stock is rising. And when it comes to Rickea Jackson, her versatility, and then the length, the size, and the ability for Camila Cardoso to run the floor, I think all GMs have to covet that.
A 10-0 start for South Carolina. Dawn Staley was looking for a faster start, and she's got it here.
When you're playing a team like South Carolina, I think if you wait until you're down 10, you may have waited a little too late.
At the buzzer, Bree Hall, breezy.
See, South Carolina's already got the momentum swinging their way, and they have hung on to it.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised Tennessee didn't call a timeout. That was the media timeout that we took, but Brooke was able to listen in to that last Tennessee huddle. What was Kelly Harper talking about?
Yes, Kelly Harper intense. She said, listen, how much fight do you have? This team is shoving it down our throats. They're getting inside the paint, doing whatever we want. So Kelly Harper infusing that energy Tennessee needs with the players beforehand, just trying to get defensive assignments together.
It's an 0 for 10 start. Mylasia Fulwiley had all day on that shot. It's going to be out of bounds off of Tennessee.
This team is cool, calm, and collected, even with the shot clock running down. Bree Hall with the 3.
A player that has been patient in her development. She has trusted the process. She didn't go to the transfer portal when she wasn't playing as much, but she had people in front of her, and now look at her game. Look at her get on the floor for that ball. Possession arrow to the Gamecocks.
Bree Hall is the example of a player that wants to earn what she gets, because Dawn Staley's not going to give you anything. She has stayed in the gym and worked. When she came to Columbia, she was pretty much known as a spot-up three-point shooter. She demonstrated with her length and athleticism what a good defensive player she is. Now she's added her ability to slash and drive to the basket. She's well-rounded.
Tahina Paopao. Jewel Spear, who's coming off 24 points, was 6 of 6 from behind the arc, an SEC record yesterday. That's number 0 in orange for Tennessee. First points for the Lady Vols at the 2:50 mark from Rickea Jackson. They started 0 for 10.
And Rickea Jackson's first bucket is a three-point make.
That's her 18th 3 of the season. Woo, high up off the window for Fulwiley.
That young freshman can just make it happen as soon as she comes in.
There's Spear. They've got to have that.
Oh, if Spear stays hot like she was yesterday, 6 for 6 from the three-point line against Alabama.
They had to stick her hand in a bucket of ice after that game.
They got her a heating pad. They want her to stay hot.
So now Fagan back to Hall.
I think the intensity has picked up for the Lady Vols.
Stolen away from Hollingshed. And Watkins to the free throw line. That's the first against Tennessee's Jillian Hollingshed. Well, the SEC Coach of the Year, Dawn Staley, in her 16th year, talked about this team in the offseason, didn't know what she was going to get because you lose all 5 starters. Not just you lose them, they're drafted.
Yeah, they went to the WNBA. They didn't just graduate. They had 5 players that went in the WNBA draft.
All of that, and then this season, they're outscoring opponents by 31.5 points per game.
Over the last 5 games, almost 38 points per game.
What's the key to this crazy, I don't even know, how do you describe it? A turnaround, a renovation, if you will?
Yeah, it's not a rebuild.
No.
It was a renovation, but part of that is how you, and I'd say fertilize. You really help the maturation of the players that were playing behind the 5 players that went on to the WNBA. Those 5 players were working on their game to be ready when they were called upon. You're not a gardener.
I'm not.
So, Courtney, when you have a garden, you got to fertilize it so your plants will grow. So these players that were ready to come in, they grew. Stay with me.
I'm right here.
And Tessa Johnson is in the game. Number 5 that's at the bottom of your screen.
Ooh,
she's one of those players that has really improved throughout this season.
How good was she yesterday? Pow pow. Ooh, just missed. Kaya Wynn running the floor for the Lady Vols.
And now Tessa Johnson has the responsibility to defend Rickea Jackson. You got to get number 2 in orange the basketball.
There's going to be a foul on Ashlyn Watkins, her first.
Now Tessa Johnson has Rickea Jackson and Sanaya Fagan, number 20 in white. She's helping off Sarah Puckett, or she was the last possession. We'll see how much help is brought to Rickea Jackson. They're going to bring 2 every time she touches it.
Now, Dawn Staley does not want Rickea Jackson going one-on-one with anybody. Shots off the mark from Kaya Wynn, and last touch by Tennessee.
We talked about the 5 starters for South Carolina. Well, when Dawn Staley decides to sub in, she doesn't lose anything. She can go 10 deep.
They average 33.3 points from their reserves. That is second in the nation. Sanaya Fagan at the elbow.
That's what I'm talking about, the development. Sanaya Fagan didn't get a lot of minutes last year either, and she has had to work her way, and now she has found her confidence on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
3 seconds. This is a 2 from Rickea. South Carolina starts this game 13-0. They're now up 19-6. Brooke, we'll talk to Kelly Harper when we come back to Greenville. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Well, Tennessee scoring a low in any quarter this year of 6 points. South Carolina out to a 19-6 lead, and Tennessee head coach Kelly Harper is with Brooke.
Thank you, Coach. You wanted to see more toughness out of your team. What does that look like here in the second?
Well, we weren't ready to guard there to start the quarter, and they flustered. I think it was all because of their defense. They did a great job coming out and taking us out of any kind of comfort, so we've got to find that, settle down.
What does comfort look like for you on the offensive end and with Rickea Jackson?
Well, just we're playing a little panicked. We're playing a little rushed, and we need to settle down, take easy shots in rhythm.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Rickea Jackson, 1 for 5 from the field. She's one of just 2 Tennessee players that have scored. Meanwhile, 7 Gamecocks scored in the first quarter.
Everybody came for South South Carolina ready to play. Kelly Harper said her team did not. And South Carolina's defense had a lot to do with that. Tennessee only shot 13% in that first quarter.
That's going to be a foul on Tessa Johnson of South Carolina, her first. So Jasmine Powell to inbound. Tennessee beat Alabama yesterday to make it to the semifinals today. Puckett hesitated a bit.
Well, with the way that South Carolina has been blocking shots, they've got 3. That's 4th for the day.
South Carolina, the top team in the nation in that category. Sanaya Fagan showing off her range.
Dawn Staley shook her hand. She was happy about that.
She got, okay, no smile, but just, all right.
She's like, yeah, that's what she's looking for. There's a battle inside with Hollingshed and Fagan.
Hollingshed thought about the step out. She'll kick out to Spear instead. 7 seconds here for Tennessee to work. Spear in trouble. Into the hands of South Carolina. Tessa Johnson, okay, welcome to your first SEC tournament. She is right at home.
Tessa Johnson might be a freshman, but she has grown up real fast, and she is growing great confidence offensively to the bucket with a quickness. Go ahead with your bad self.
All right.
Wait a minute. Did Nikki Fargas go to Tennessee?
She's got, hey, then she's got every right to call him out.
She was Nikki Caldwell at the time.
What has been giving Tennessee such problems in this first half?
It has been all South Carolina's defense. The communication that they have, the switching, the rotation, the help.
That's a nice finish for Jillian Hollingshed, past Coley Kitts.
That's just the 5th shot attempt in the paint for Tennessee.
Wow, this is a Tennessee team that averages 34 paint points per game. They're being outscored in the paint 12-2.
And on the glass, rebounding-wise, South Carolina is out-rebounding Tennessee 21-8.
Back inside to Hollingshed, this time working on Fagan, and she lost it. Turnover number 5 for the Lady Vols.
You talked about South Carolina's turnovers yesterday against Texas A&M. They have yet to turn the ball over.
You think that was discussed overnight?
I would say that it was probably put under every player's pillow last night. Do not turn the ball over.
Dawn Staley said they came out playing too fast in that game yesterday against Texas A&M, and that led to some of those 24 turnovers.
Watch Tessa Johnson. The guards are even getting into the act with the rebounding.
Spear off the inbound. Raven inside to her best friend, Camila Cardoso. Up top to Bree Hall. That's the first turnover by South Carolina. Can Tennessee capitalize? Tennessee just 8 points. South Carolina has had 8 different players score the basketball. And no points for Tennessee off that turnover. Raven. They wanted her to get going more in the paint.
Dawn Staley said that Raven Johnson was the key to getting off to a good start. She wanted the point, offensive-minded. She really likes Raven Johnson's instincts in her decision.
That's an offensive foul on Rickea Jackson.
Raven Johnson coming down the floor in transition, surveying, realizing no one picked her up, takes it to the left side with the right finish.
Raven already 4 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. She was a member of the SEC All-Freshman team last year. Remember her first season with the program, she came as the top point guard in the nation, but had a knee injury in November of her true freshman year that cost her that first season.
Yeah, I was so excited to see her coming in.
I know, you would not stop talking about it.
I saw her play in high school. I mean, she is a spark plug, and then she had a great summer. She played on the FIBA AmeriCup team with Rickea Jackson and Jewel Spear, played against her best friend in Camila Cardoso.
Tessa Johnson has just found another level at the SEC tournament. 13 points yesterday. Strickland misses. Offensive board, just the second offensive rebound for Tennessee today.
Tennessee missed Caroline Strickland. She was all alone down low.
Sarah Puckett overshoots. Tennessee ball.
But the defense of South Carolina, Tahina Papau started it off with the block. Then Camila Cardoso, she got into the act. But watch this in transition. Ashlyn Watkins, the communication, tells Breezy Hall, help me out. And she's there for a stop of her own.
That's one of the differences they've talked about with Ashlyn Watkins, that communication piece. She's so confident in herself. She'll direct traffic and tell the other players what she's thinking. Jewel Spear up and in.
The transition from high school to college, a lot of times the young players won't talk because they're not sure what to say. Ashlyn Watkins knows what the verbiage should be now.
Watkins flashing across the paint. She'll just take it and nail it.
Dawn Staley said Ashlyn Watkins has found her superpower. She knew she was going to be a great defender and a great rebounder. Now that offensive add to the game, woo! Look at there. There's the defense again.
Yeah, I see the cape on the back of the jersey. Offensive foul on Camila Cardoso as Caroline Strickland steps up to take the charge. First on Cardoso.
Look, Raven Johnson has no hesitation of giving the ball to Camille any opportunity that she can. She's got to recognize where the rotation, the help defense is on the backside so that she protects her big girl.
Tennessee started this game 0 for 10 from the field. They didn't get their first bucket until the 2:50 mark in the first quarter. Watkins will not stop right now. She's going to get Jillian Hollingshed to commit her second foul.
Malaysia Fulwiley is the only Gamecock that has been on the floor that has not gotten a rebound yet. Just everybody has gotten into the game. They are out-rebounding. South Carolina is out-rebounding Tennessee 24-10.
Floater from Fulwiley, short. Offensive rebound, too much. Tessa Johnson in the corner, no.
But Ashlyn Watkins was flying around. She was trying to clean that up.
Now Tennessee has Tamari Key back in the game. She gives them some size down low. Strickland was the one posting up to the free throw line. She goes.
Now, Strickland can bring some power, some muscle for Tennessee down on the block.
Second foul on Ashlyn Watkins. Caroline Strickland, a 75% free throw shooter, gives Tennessee some physicality, toughness down low.
Strickland, Jackson, and Tamari Key in their last meeting got the South Carolina post players in some foul trouble.
First one drops in. Well, the SEC men's basketball tournament early round games are over on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Both first round games Wednesday starting at 7 Eastern. The 4 second round games will be Thursday. Quarterfinals on Friday. That's at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
And the Tennessee Vols are the favorites going into the SEC tournament.
They actually got a win over South Carolina to secure that SEC regular season title. Dalton connects pretty good. So is Mylasia Fulwiley. And the little dance down the court.
She is just fun to watch. Number 12 on defense right now.
Fulwiley picked her pocket. Back to back. The local kid out of Columbia, South Carolina, stayed at home. Didn't have to go far to put her highlights up.
When South Carolina's playing, a lot of times you want to grab that remote control, because when Mylasia Fulwiley is in the game, you want to be able to hit rewind. You want to see plays like this again and again and again. Number 12, she's special.
Marco's Pizza. Courtney Lau, Carolyn Peck, and Brooke Weisbrod with you from the SEC Tournament, our first semifinal of the day. Mylasia Fulwiley, what do you think it's like to coach a player like that?
It's like a gift. It's like you have just received the treasure of all treasures, because she is special.
Nice option to Mari Key, and she lost her shoe. Her shoe is down at the other end. She's going to go ahead and play without it anyway.
You got to give the ball to Camila Cardoso, and she gave it up. She doesn't realize it.
Tamari Key still going up and down the court with one shoe.
Fulwiley's in the corner, bottom of your screen.
Pow pow. Misses. Caroline Strickland up and in.
And Kelly Harper doesn't want to burn a timeout, but look, for the safety of your player, you may want to think about it.
And finally, there is a whistle. And the shoe coming down the court for Tamari Key.
Well, Tamari Key does not get distracted easily, as we can already see, losing the shoe. And what a fabulous story of resilience for Tamari Key. As we know, she's made her way through an incredible journey through blood clots. Back here playing today, that's her mom, Tammy Brown, here in the stands, who was also a collegiate athlete. She played volleyball at Coastal Carolina. What? And she always had a message for her daughters, which was to stand tall. She said, hey, my mom actually wasn't tall, but I sure am. So I always taught my daughters to stand tall and be the best at whatever you do. So while Tamari was sitting out, she was in charge of private free throws for Tennessee players each week. So that was her dedicated effort. And guess what? The free throw percentages, they went up.
Wow, I love how she stayed engaged. But yeah, can you imagine, I mean, figuring out 8 games in the season last year, you have blood clots in your lungs and you play basketball.
And for her to really stay committed and stay positive that she would be able to work her way back, to be on the floor. She had to get herself into game shape throughout this season. Kelly Harper's been very patient with Tamari, and it has paid off. And you have seen her game continue to elevate throughout this season.
Even with only one shoe.
And she didn't stop.
Did not stop.
No quit in TK.
Got a flat tire, didn't matter.
A two-man game with Ricky and Tamari could be very beneficial for the Lady Vols.
Jasmine Powell fought for the offensive board. Just 3 points for Rickea Jackson, who is projected to be a top 3 pick in the WNBA draft. South Carolina has shut her down for now. And that's the second on Camila Cardoso.
It just looked like Cardoso was standing there with her arms straight up. I didn't see a foul. She was straight up. The offense, I felt like Strickland initiated that contact.
So Camila Cardoso is going to have to take a seat. 2 points, 3 rebounds.
For most teams, you might think, oh, that's bad news. But Dawn Staley's got plenty to pull from. Sitting right there next to her. She's got options.
And they've had experience playing without Camila. She has missed 4 games this year, 2 to play with her national team to try to qualify for the Olympics. And then they rested her for 2 games because there was a lot of travel involved with that.
Well, Carmelo got rest, but other players got experience.
Yes. They won all 4 of those games. And South Carolina takes a timeout here. Minute 16 before the half. It has been South Carolina from the jump. They started out leading this game 13-0. Even the freshmen getting involved. Mylasia Fulwiley's leading them in scoring.
I just love how this young freshman can find seams in the defense, and her ball handling is so impressive. I found a clip on the internet of Fulwiley when she was young, growing up just down the street from the University of South Carolina, and her young daughter, her young sister would do the countdown for her. This was her introduction to college basketball when South Carolina played Notre Dame in Paris. Around the back, to the left side. Watch this.
Woo! I've seen that play a million times, and it never gets old.
I can never watch it enough.
Your college debut in Paris, France, against Notre Dame, and you bust that out.
The confidence. But you saw the clip. When she would come home from school, when she was small, her younger sister would do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and Fulwiley would be working on her moves of how to make that last second shot.
Oh yeah, you're practicing the game winner in your driveway. Jewel Spear gives herself some room to hit. Second 3 that she's hit. 8 points for Jewel.
And Tennessee is 3 of 13 from the 3-point line.
Shooting just 25% from the field today. Sakima Walker. And that's tipped by Spear. Tennessee scored a season low in any quarter in the first quarter with just 6 points. Much better in the second quarter, 15 points. Took them a while to figure out South Carolina's defense, even though they just saw the Gamecocks last Sunday.
There's a difference in watching it and preparing to go against it.
Man, that's going to be a turnover.
Tennessee wants to use all of this shot clock.
Can Tennessee build some momentum here and get a bucket going into half?
You got to get a touch for Rickea Jackson.
There it is. Jackson just 3 points.
That's a nice play, though. All the attention up top to Rickea Jackson, trying to worry about covering the screens, and then the backdoor cut by Jasmine Powell.
Second foul against Sanaya Fagan.
Rickea Jackson only 3 points in this first half.
Yeah, she's 1 for 6 from the field. She's still impacted the game in other ways. 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Rickea.
And I think that goes to Dawn Staley saying she was going to be bringing two, seeing some extra bodies, so making her have to give the ball up.
Both are good for Jasmine Powell. Avery Strickland checks back in for Tennessee. 5 seconds on the clock. Mylasia Fulwiley in for the Gamecocks.
If there's anybody that can score with 5 seconds left on the clock, it is Mylasia Fulwiley.
She's practicing that countdown. South Carolina reserves outscored Tennessee's team. 23 rebound points for South Carolina, 23 points for Tennessee.
She practiced countdown. It went all the way around and then spin out.
Mylasia Fulwiley. Mylasia Fulwiley by Wyrock.
All right, Mylasia, that was an incredible move. I know you wanted to finish on that. What was the key to the good start today for you guys?
I think it's really just coming out with making sure we hit first. We start first. I feel like we did a great job today. That's why our score is the way it is right now.
And Tennessee with a bit of a run seats here. What did you feel from them?
We felt just aggressiveness. Always aggressive. So we expect to beat the big, but I feel like today we turned ourselves more as a team and make the more right players today.
All right, Alyssa. Excuse me, thank you so much. Alyssa, we will send it over to you on this set.
You're watching ESPN Champion Week presented by Prince. This is the SEC Basketball Tournament Semifinal. We're watching the SEC on ESPN. A packed crowd inside Bon Secours Wellness Arena here in Greenville, South Carolina. Getting the number one team in the nation. Courtney Lyle, Carolyn Peck, and Bryce Brewer with you. South Carolina was looking for a hot start. They got it. Started out on a 13-0 run, and their reserves have been fantastic.
Well, Tennessee has 23 points. So do the reserves for South Carolina. They all have gotten in the act. You had Mylasia Fulwiley, who came in the game. She's already put up 9 points. Tessa Johnson, not only did she bring it defensively, but offensively, she was a contributor as well. And then Ashlyn Watkins, the jumper, the superpower that she has, the post play, and the versatility that South Carolina has in rotating players in is just so incredible.
South Carolina outscored Tennessee in the paint 22-8. Now the Lady Vols did grab some momentum. They ended the half on an 11-1 run. They were even with South Carolina in the second quarter after being held to a season low in any quarter of 6 points.
Kelly Harper told Brooke Weisbrod that they didn't really seem ready for the aggressive defense that South Carolina brought. They settled in that second quarter. Now, can the Lady Vols turn it up as they start this second half?
Chloe Kitts, patience paying off. South Carolina played 10 players in the first half. 8 of them scored.
Now Bree Hall has the responsibility of checking Rickea Jackson.
She only had 3 points in the first half. I'm sure that was an emphasis. Get Rickea the basketball.
And I got to believe that Tennessee is going to try to put Camila Cardoso in ball screen action, make her have to come out and defend. And if she doesn't, be ready to shoot the ball.
And Camila has to be careful. She does have 2 fouls. That's going to be a turnover.
And Tamari Key touched that one. That's got to be South Carolina basketball.
Okay, everybody was, moving down the other end of the court. They call him back. It is Gamecock ball. Six seconds here. And this time it's Tennessee basketball. Winner of this game gets either Ole Miss or LSU in the championship tomorrow. That second semifinal will be about 25 minutes after we finish this one. Rakia Jackson is blocked. I think it was a combo effort of Bree Hall and Camila Cardoso.
See, trying to bring Jackson to the block, it's taken her against height. She's better off and having more opportunities out of her face-up game. That's a great duck in by Camila Cardoso.
Oh, but can't finish the shot. But you saw that pass. That's one reason why Chloe Kitts got the starting nod over Ashlyn Watkins at the beginning of the season. Her chemistry with Camila. Bree Hall, free throws coming. Here's the 4 teams that remain. We started action on Wednesday with all 14 teams coming to Greenville. Our championship tomorrow at 3 Eastern on ESPN. We get to see the #1 team in the nation and the defending national champions. LSU will be in our next game, and the big question mark, will we see Angel Reese, because she rolled her ankle yesterday in that quarterfinal game. Did not return.
That's what everybody's waiting to see. She's dressed. She's got the leg sleeve on.
Angel Reese, the SEC Player of the Year, a national champion a year ago. Rakia Jackson for 3.
The face-up game. That's where Rakia Jackson can be more impactful going against the length of South Carolina.
Tamari Key with a block on Camila Cardoso. Jewel Spear weaving. Okay, Angel Reese does not have a boot on that right leg, that right foot.
Walking without a limp also.
Okay.
That's a good sign.
Spear up and in. She's got 9 points. Jewel Spear, 3 seasons at Wake Forest, was a 2-time All-ACC selection before transferring to Tennessee.
Tennessee's cut this to 9.
They have trailed by as many as 23. Remember, the first 2 meetings very close between these two, and the second one, the most recent one, coming last Sunday. Raven Johnson in the corner. Just the second 3 of the day for South Carolina. They are second in the nation in 3-point percentage. They're just letting Rakia Jackson cook, as you should.
Again, face up away from the basket. Instead of her back to the basket, she has more options when she's got the ball out around the perimeter. And Dawn Staley has moved Raven Johnson off the point. Tahina Paopao running the point now. She's the creator, and when the defense collapses in, asking Johnson to be the shooter now for South Carolina. Now Rakia Jackson is over by us. Again, see if they put her in ball screen action with Camila Cardoso.
The other side to a waiting Puckett. First points for Sarah Puckett. It is a 23-7 run for Tennessee. Cardoso battling for position.
Solid duck in by Camilla.
Still a nice look for Jackson. Doesn't finish at the free throw line. Kitts the other way.
Chloe Kitts, from how she played last year to this year, major improvement. Got in the weight room, stronger, and brings that tenacity.
And Jewel Spear is fouled by Raven Johnson. That'll be 3 free throws coming when we come back.
Tennessee has adjusted how they're attacking South Carolina defensively. They're putting Camilla Cardoso in ball screen, and all the defense is going to shift to one side. What does that do? That leaves Sarah Puckett wide open on the backside. The Lady Vols have settled in to their offense. Rickea Jackson only had 3 points in the first half. The adjustment put her in ball screens. If Cardoso doesn't come out there, she's got that face-up jumper. Again, Bree Hall is looking to go underneath the ball screen, and Rickea Jackson with the step back. That's nice.
Rickea Jackson projected to be a top 3 pick in the WNBA draft. How does her game translate to the next level?
I think she's ready to go to the next level. She's high energy, she's versatile, she's shown she can play inside and out. And you've got to bring a level of passion. You've got to have toughness to play in the WNBA, and I think Rickea Jackson has it.
Rickea started her career at Mississippi State, was there for 3 seasons, and now in her 2nd season with Tennessee. There's her mom, Karen, who played basketball at Kansas, watching her daughter play in the SEC Tournament. It's Jewel Spear at the free throw line for Tennessee, who is shooting 57% from the field here in this 3rd quarter.
Guys, you mentioned Rickea Jackson and her mom, Karen. I love the post that she put out yesterday, 8:45 in the morning. She said, you have to trust your star player. That's it. That's all. Message sent.
And I think we're seeing that in the 2nd half,
Yeah,
right? They're working things to get Rickea open more.
When you have your mama that has that kind of mentality, you got to expect Rickea to have that as well.
I'll also tell you, too, like down here in the post, when they're not getting all the boards and everything, yet she's frustrated, but she's not demonstrative, right? She's just kind of shaking her head, knowing she's got to do better next time.
And you know this Tennessee team is watching her and her body language. Cardoso trying on key. She'll kick out to Hall. Stays with South Carolina.
The one thing about Camilla Cardoso's game, when the ball goes inside and she's not done her work early, she will revert to catching it and dribbling it. That was a problem for her when South Carolina played against Tennessee earlier, or played against LSU earlier this season. Very frustrating first half.
She's patient there. Got the foul. Second on Tamari Key.
But what I want to see Camilla Cardoso do is get down in a stance so that she can catch a leading pass, especially when teams defend her one-on-one, so she can just catch it, turn, and go score it.
Camilla Cardoso, originally from Brazil, moved here at the age of 15.
Ashlyn Watkins snuck in there to get that offensive board off the free throw.
Watkins now with 6 points. South Carolina 16 second chance points. That's over their season average. They average 15. Jewel Spear, offensive board, puts up the shot. Sarah Puckett, a second offensive rebound for Tennessee in this possession. The third foul on Ashlyn Watkins.
2 things for Tennessee. The adjustment to get the opportunity for Rickea Jackson to score, facing up in the ball screen. And then secondly, Tennessee now is becoming more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Tamari Key misses the first. 2 points, 3 rebounds for Key today. But her physicality, her presence, her size down low has been important. As Tennessee's had to adjust, they were down right from the start of this game, down 13-0. Started 0 for 10 from the field.
And Tamari Key's conditioning has been big in having her be able to stay on the floor longer.
Third against Tamari Key.
I was wondering if Kelly Harper was going to keep her in, but Caroline Strickland has gone to the table.
And so Key will take a seat.
Now South Carolina with this lineup on ball screens with Rickea Jackson, they can just switch it. So guards don't have to rely on the help of a Camila Cardoso because Fagan and Watkins, they can defend away from the basket. See now Raven Johnson has Jackson.
Spear over the top of Bree Hall. Jewel Spear, 15 points now. She averages 13 a game. That's gone up to 17 a game here at the SEC Tournament.
Looks like Tennessee switched up to a little bit of a zone with this lineup.
Out of bounds off of Ashlyn Watkins' foot. It'll be Tennessee basketball.
Now Tessa Johnson has Rickea Jackson. That was one of the things that was keeping Tessa off the floor, was wanting her to catch on defensively. And she's picked that up. And you can definitely say that Dawn Staley trusts Tessa now defending if she's going to put her on Rickea.
Yeah, I would say so. The leading scorer and rebounder for Tennessee, Rickea Jackson. Tess Darby by herself, and that's the shot she loves. Tessa Johnson short on the layup.
Tess Darby came into this game because she is a three-point shooter. And so keep an eye on where Rickea Jackson is and where all the defense is worried about. Everybody gets in the paint. That leaves Darby wide open to knock down the three.
And Tess Darby, 5th in Tennessee history in career three-pointers made, just added to it.
And she was 0 for 4 against Bama.
Fulwiley with the steal, with the bucket. Up to 11 for Mylasia Fulwiley. The only Gamecock in double figures. And then they toss it inside to Rickea Jackson.
With Spear and Darby on the floor at the same time, they can pull the defense away from the basket and allow Rickea Jackson to cook inside.
Turnaround from Fagan.
Woo, let's go.
That was sweet. Oh, Caroline Strickland was open. turnover. Fagan had a good look, but shorted it. Transition three for Rickea! Boom! 15 points for Rickea Jackson.
This is what you want in the SEC semifinals. Both teams trying to make it to Sunday.
3 points for Rickea in the first half. She's got 12 here in the third quarter.
The isolation for Rickea Jackson down underneath, and then the transition three. The All-American, she's heating up.
Right when Tennessee needs her to. They have outscored South Carolina 25-20 here in the third quarter. Now Rickea Jackson does pick up her third foul. So she takes a seat for Tennessee, and that changes things.
I think only to rest her through the end of this quarter. I'm sure we'll see her back real early in the fourth.
Six seconds. Kitts caught in the double team. What? Chloe Kitts, acrobatic shot. How did that just happen? For Wiley and Puckett hit the deck. They both get up.
I think the officials got to go review, see if that foul was called before time expired.
The play at the end of the quarter is under review.
I think time had expired before the foul.
Yeah, I think so too. So they're taking a look at that last play.
I think that the clocks hit all zeros before that foul was committed.
Yeah, we'll see if they see what we saw. Right now, South Carolina with a 10-point lead. They came out in this game and held Tennessee scoreless until the 2:50 mark in the first quarter. But Tennessee has gone even with them second and third quarters.
See, at zero, she's not even gotten in the act of shooting, and unless can't see Sarah Puckett's arm on the inside.
Well, watch the official too hold his fist up. The foul. It was well after the clock had already hit zeros.
I would agree. It's extra rest time for Rickea Jackson. She had to take a seat with that third foul.
And she was such a big part of Tennessee playing catch-up. Tennessee trailed by as many as 23 in the first half. They were even with South Carolina in the second quarter, 17-17. And then they outscored Tennessee in the third quarter, 25-22.
Rickea Jackson had 12 of those points.
Yeah. Again, they're still looking at this last play before the quarter ended. Now you can see the goal, the score, the backboard lit up well before Joseph Vasili signals for the foul.
This is taking a really long time. This is when I would like to have an official that's not working the game that could talk to us and tell us what they see.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, you know, that would help the folks at home. Like, I know they trust us, but we're not officials.
Yeah.
So
they're conferring at the monitor. Again, just 2 officials can be at the monitor at a time as they're looking at this last play.
but I think this has taken a really long time. The momentum had built up for Tennessee.
So again, we're being told, and you heard Joseph Vasili say it on the microphone, that they're looking at to see if the foul occurred before the clock expired, and from the look that we have, the foul was after the clock expired.
This can be frustrating for players. This has taken a while. The Tennessee players are back on the court.
They'll still have to take the media break at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they'll have to go back to the bench. And this is taking so long, they may have to warm up again.
Look, I will say the atmosphere for the semifinal has been a lot of fun. A sold-out arena. We're sold out here today and tomorrow for our championship game, which will be at 3 Eastern on ESPN. They were lined up early to get in. And both fan bases, Tennessee fans, South Carolina fans, they have been here for days. We have seen garnet and we have seen orange and white in the stands since we started play on Wednesday.
We've seen them in the stands. We've seen them out downtown Greenville, South Carolina. This has been a great hosted event. And I think that a lot of fans enjoy coming here for the SEC tournament.
Greenville, the city of Greenville does a great job. Don't forget, our second semifinal will be 25 minutes after we finish this game. And it's LSU and Ole Miss.
And there was a lot of suspense. Will Angel Reese be able to play? We saw her walk in, no boot, no limp.
Okay, so we got an explanation from Eric Bruton. The foul occurred before, what they're seeing is the foul occurred before the clock hit zeros. She was not in the act of shooting.
The foul on the floor is confirmed on orange, number 1. There'll be 2 free throws for white, 12, with 0.1 on the game clock. That's the 15th foul, 2 shots.
Yeah, so not a shooting foul, but it is the 15th foul, and that puts South Carolina in bonus, so that's why they will get 2 shots, and Sarah Puckett was whistled for that foul.
Says South Carolina shoot 2, then we'll go to the break and can finally get the 4th quarter started.
We haven't started yet?
I have.
That's the first foul on Sarah Puckett.
So it'll be Malaysia Fulwiley should be shooting 2.
She's got 11 points, 5 of 10 from the field, talking about Fulwiley. And even after a long pause, Malaysia Fulwiley ready to hit 2 free throws. That is officially the end of the third quarter. When we come back, Brooke will catch up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Well, moments ago, Brooke caught up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley.
Coach, an extended timeout to get the call correct. How did you spend that time with your team?
I mean, just get us back. I mean, Tennessee's on the run. They're a really good basketball team. They're picking our defense apart, but we're making them go deep into their offense, which we want. They're just banging shots.
Malaysia Fulwiley hit those 2 free throws. She's got 13 points. What's been your assessment of your freshman so far in her first SEC tournament?
I like them. They're being aggressive. You know, they're unpredictable, but they're being aggressive. We know what they're doing, so if we know what they're doing, we can react to what they're doing. So they're going to start this fourth quarter. We'll see how they do. We got our starters some rest, so you know it's going to be a beautiful thing for us to be able to utilize our depth.
Thanks, Coach.
One of the things that Dawn Staley likes about Malaysia Fulwiley is as long as she's playing aggressive, she's going to make mistakes. But as a young player, she wants her to go fast and then let Dawn coach her. And that's why Fulwiley has such confidence to go out on the floor and do what she does.
She's shooting 50% from the field. Meanwhile, Tennessee much improved in the second half. The third quarter shot 53% from the field compared to just 25% in the opening 20 minutes.
That first quarter was really the biggest problem for Tennessee. I think just preparing for the intensity, and they should have been familiar with it because they'd already played Tennessee 2 times in the regular season. But in that second quarter, the Lady Vols started to settle in, and coming out of the locker room at halftime, now they're ready to compete.
Tennessee was held to a season low in any quarter of 6 points to start this game. So you heard Dawn Staley say Malaysia Fulwiley, Tessa Johnson going to start this fourth quarter.
Rikia Jackson playing with 4 fouls. You got to get her off the block. Let her face up. That's when she was getting things going.
Just 3 fouls for Rikia.
I'm sorry, 3 fouls. Fourth quarter.
Yes. Dropping it in for Jasmine Powell from the elbow.
And Tennessee's biggest focus has got to be putting back-to-back stops together.
Spear tipped it, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Gets the pass to Tessa Johnson. And there's 2 stops in a row for Tennessee.
To defend and then finish it with a rebound.
Puckett's got 3 shots coming.
And top it off with getting an opportunity to score on the offensive end.
That's the first on Chloe Kitts.
See, that's why coaches coach their players defensively, stutter into the closeout so that you have the ability to stop. Because the last thing you want to do is give 3 frees because of lack of discipline.
Sarah Puckett just 3 points today. She was big in their second round game against border rival Kentucky, had 22 points in that game. Her third game of the season with 20 or more points.
Yeah, that Kentucky game, Sarah Puckett was 8 for 12 from the floor, 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. Here we go, 6 points.
Buckle up. Closest it's been since it was 6-0 South Carolina. They've led by as many as 23. Smooth from Cardoso.
That's the early work I'm talking about. I wanted to see from the 6'7" center for the Gamecocks.
She has 8. 38 paint points for South Carolina, just 12 for Tennessee. There's 2 more. Tamari Key rolling to the basket. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 blocks for Key. Ball left it short. Spear wants to go. She'll pull it back out. Wait for some help. Puckett the kick to Powell. Top of the key, no for Rakia.
Puckett is on Cardoso down low, and Key is on Ashlyn Watkins. You got to get the ball inside.
That's a foul on Sarah Puckett.
South Carolina wanted to adjust the ball screen defense on Rakia Jackson. So now when Cardoso commits, it's Tamari Key that's the benefactor on the roll.
Tennessee has outscored South Carolina here early in this 4th quarter, 8-2.
Jasmine Powell has been all over Tahina Powell.
Yeah, Powell has not scored. Tennessee basketball. Powell letting it fly. Here come the Lady Vols. Powell looking for her first points. On the 3, she shoots it better than anyone in the nation.
See the double team on Rakia Jackson.
Ten seconds. Spear. Fear the spear.
Tennessee's picking up Camila Cardoso in those ball screens.
Four-point game. Rakia on cleanup duty. Five minutes to go, we got a 2-point game. And the Big Orange faithful on their feet in Greenville. South Carolina's got to take a timeout.
Tennessee has gotten their offense organized, and it all centers around Rakia Jackson. Focused on her on the ball screen. Jasmine Powell knocking down the 3. Jackson has been huge, and Powell has contributed. The Lady Vols on a roll.
Rakia Jackson willing the Tennessee Lady Volunteers back into this game. 15 points in the second half. She's got 18. She's got a career-high 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and Tennessee is down 2. Now, they have cut it to single digits against South Carolina before, but haven't been able to finish. How do they do that here?
I think that they've got to stay organized offensively, and they've got to get the right shots to the right people. I like how Tennessee is running the ball through the hands of Rickea Jackson and letting her make some decisions. Because look, since they've been here in Greenville, Sarah Puckett was the leading scorer against Kentucky, Jewel Spear against Alabama. Today, Rickea Jackson, the Lady Vols have options.
Things coming together at the right time for a Tennessee team that is projected to be a number 8 seed in the tournament, no matter the outcome of this game, according to Charlie Cream. South Carolina only has 5 points here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, their offense, it's been a little chaotic. They just have not been as organized in their execution as Tennessee has been.
That was blocked by Watkins. Stolen away by the Lady Vols. And that's the 4th foul on Ashlyn Watkins. And as the drama builds, we step aside one more time. South Carolina led by as many as 23. Tennessee's cut it to 2.
College game day, one of the best environments in all of college hoops. Give me this energy. We love it here. These fans have set the standard for college game day.
College Game Day, live from Greensboro, Sunday at noon on ESPN.
The Championship Sunday coming up. 3 women's title games tomorrow on ESPN and the app. That ACC Championship game will be at 1 Eastern, followed up by our SEC Championship here in Greenville, South Carolina. Then the Pac-12 title game caps the afternoon. What a day. So many teams to crown. Looking all forward towards the NCAA tournament. South Carolina projected to be that top overall seed. No matter what happens today, Tennessee an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. They have trailed by 23, now just down 2. And Tamari Key ties it. Brooke, what was Dawn Staley talking to her team about?
She wants to see them spread the floor, and she also wants to see a pow-pow 3, so look for maybe some weave action. See pow-pow catching it at the top. There it is.
Misses that shot, gets the look.
The biggest thing that South Carolina needs to do is focus on their defense. With Cardoso in ball screen action, that has been a problem for South Carolina.
Offensively, what's allowed them to only score 5 points in this fourth quarter?
Well, I think that they're trying to get everything in the paint, and Tennessee is crowding the paint. Pow is going to, when the opportunity presents itself, she's got to knock down shots.
She's coming up to the top of the key. Here's Raven Johnson spinning into traffic, and she is fouled. Fouled by Spear. "23 points is the largest comeback all time in Tennessee history. They did that in 2009 against Rutgers. Today, Tennessee is trailed by 23 points, and now they've tied it.
This game is going to come down to, I believe, paint points and rebounding.
Both are good for Raven Johnson. Winner to the championship tomorrow to face either Ole Miss or LSU. Spear sees an opening. And that's a foul by Camila Cardoso, her 3rd.
See, Cardoso in the game, she's the main target of Tennessee. So they are running a lot of dribble drive action. They're trying to get mismatches with the defense shifting, so they drive. They know Cardoso is going to rotate over, and they're trying to attack 6-7, and more times than not, they get right there to the free throw line where we find Jewel Spear. We are all tied up. Let's go.
3 minutes to go to decide who goes to our championship game. Nobody in the nation has been able to beat South Carolina. Can Tennessee do it? Tessa Johnson, what a pass to Cardoso.
Number 5 in white, that freshman has been a major impact today, and she draws the assignment again to stay with Rickea Jackson.
There's going to be a foul on the floor away from the ball.
South Carolina wants to get the ball in the paint, and Johnson attacks now. This time when Key rotates over, Cardoso is available. Wow, that's a tough pass for Tessa Johnson.
Johnson just picked up her 3rd foul. Dawn Staley has talked about how she has been learning so quickly. It's clicking right now. She's just been solid for them, including on the defensive end.
She's so smart. She understands angles. I like the conditioning that she's gotten in. She's increased her quickness throughout the season.
2 key free throws for Jewel Spear. Back to a tie. Spear with 21 to lead Tennessee.
See, rebounding is going to be so key in deciding this game.
Raven Johnson at the SEC logo.
They got to play through Rickea Jackson.
That's now 17 points in the second half for Rickea.
Paint and rebounding.
Cardoso almost threw it away. 6 seconds here. Gonna scramble for the ball on the floor. Back out to South Carolina. It went through the legs of Tessa Johnson, and that's over and back. Almost everybody on both teams was on the floor fighting for that basketball.
You don't think these teams, each team wants to be playing tomorrow? Just went through the legs of Tessa Johnson.
We are under a minute to go with a tie ball game.
And now Tennessee, they can look to attack the basket. They are in the bonus. South Carolina is not. Tennessee still has 2 fouls to give.
Rickea Jackson, she got herself some room. Tamari Key almost had it. It stays with Tennessee.
I think the officials are going to look at it. I think Raven Johnson got a hand on it. Looks like this should be Tennessee ball.
Yeah, inside a minute, the officials will go to the monitor, review possession here. They'll also double check that the clock is correct. The original call was Tennessee.
Call on the floor is orange. Players under review. Yes, I know.
And there's got to be indisputable evidence to overturn that.
I think right there you see it go last off the hand of Raven Johnson.
I would agree. Wow, with the way this game started, it's drastically different than how it is ending.
South Carolina jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Tennessee only scored 6 points in the first quarter. They didn't have a field goal until the 2:50 mark in the first quarter, and they never panicked.
just chipped away. They organized their offense. Defensively, the intensity for the Lady Vols picked up, and they got themselves right back into this position.
The call on the floor is confirmed. Orange ball. The game clock will be reset to 43.4.
So here we go. South Carolina is 30-0 on the season. They have won 36 straight games against SEC opponents. Tennessee has not beaten the #1 team in the nation since 2005 when they beat LSU at the SEC Tournament.
And remember, South Carolina is the only team in the country, men or women's, that is undefeated right now.
Is the third time a charm for Tennessee this season.
That's good defense.
They gotta get it in.
But still, Tennessee needs to look for #2 in orange, Rickea Jackson.
At the top of your screen. 6 seconds. Backdoor cut for Rickea. Shot clock did not reset. Second chance goes. Tennessee with its first lead.
And
South Carolina will call timeout.
Rickea Jackson's mama's loving it.
South Carolina calls timeout. This is a South Carolina team over the last 3 seasons. Look at this record. 101 wins, only 3 losses. And those 3 losses have come by single digits. How did Tennessee catch back up after trailing by 23 points?
They played through #2, Rickea Jackson. And with all the attention defensively that came to #2 in orange, she was able to distribute it. She's not just a shooter, not just a scorer, but she is a baller that can create shots, and that's how the Lady Vols got in this. And I had said, rebounding will decide a lot about this game. Who will win it? Rickea Jackson with the offensive rebound. You know what? She gets it from her mama.
Her mom, Karen, feeling all of it. Jackson has scored the last 4 points to tie and take the lead for Tennessee. But here's South Carolina's chance, down by 2.
Now, and Tennessee still has 2 fouls to give. They just don't need to foul South Carolina in the act.
Watkins looking for help. No basket. Dawn Staley calls it timeout. That will be the final timeout for South Carolina. 11.5 seconds on the clock. So where do you go right now if you're South Carolina with 11.5?
Where South Carolina always goes in this situation. You've got Camila Cardoso to the rim. She has the opportunity to score 2 and tie it up, and the possibility of getting fouled. She'll be going against Tamari Key. If the lane is clogged up, then you're going to have 3 out on the outside. Now for Tennessee, Tennessee still has 2 fouls to give. So now they can foul South Carolina when they get the ball in, as long as they're not in the act of shooting, making time tick off the clock. That takes away from the time South Carolina would have to execute their offense.
And make them inbound the ball again with no timeouts. Tennessee does have 2 timeouts. The possession arrow pointing towards South Carolina. Winner is going to the SEC championship game. Tennessee has been there more than anyone. 37 appearances in the semifinals. They are looking to get back to the finals for the 25th time. As of recently, though, it's been South Carolina that has dominated this tournament. 8 of the last 11 seasons, 7 of the last 9 tournaments, they have won SEC titles.
The most important thing South Carolina's got to do is get the ball in. They have no timeouts.
Gamecocks down 2. Raven Johnson will inbound. Pow. The kick out to Raven Johnson, short. Tennessee can feel it. The foul was on Malaysia Fulwiley. And Tennessee is in the bonus. They've had their chances 2 times before against South Carolina. Can they finish it off here? Gamecocks have no timeouts. .7, Fulwiley. She's fouled by Spear, no shot.
Fulwiley tried to get in the act of shooting, but that foul was on the floor.
That was a smart play by Jewel Spear. So South Carolina will have to inbound again. They don't have a timeout. Dawn Staley is trying to quickly talk to her team with 1.1.
And Tennessee still has 1 foul to give, but they don't need to foul.
Cardoso for 3, banks it in! A miracle for the Gamecocks! No bigger shot for Camila Cardoso, her first 3 of the season! And South Carolina avoids the upset! Camila Cardoso, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, winning it in the semifinals with her offense, her first 3-pointer.
The last person that you would expect to be in position to pull the 3, to pull off the win for South Carolina, it's Camila Cardoso at the top of the key. Tennessee said there's no need to go out there and guard the big girl, 6'7". Camila Cardoso banks it in.
She has never hit a 3-pointer in her career until this moment. Just waiting for the right time. Wow. And devastation for Tennessee, who was so close to taking down the #1 team. .7 can shoot the 3 too. Camila Cardoso is with Brooke.
Thank you, Courtney. I don't even know if you can hear me. I'm going to try to scream loud. That was the first 3 this season you hit. Happened to be your game winner as well. Take us through that play. Who was that drawn up for?
Well, Coach wanted me to get the ball in the top of the key and hit it to foul. And then she taught me to shoot it. And I was like, okay. I practiced them in practice, so I just stepped back and shot it.
You shot it pretty well, too. It goes in. Tell us what you're feeling right now.
I'm very happy. I feel like my teammates needed me. I didn't have the best game that I could have. I think I was off all night, so I'm just happy that I made a shot and I'm able to take them to the finals.
I mean, you missed time this season as well. You guys also started this game on fire, but you faced a very feisty Tennessee team. What did that feel like as they were starting to make their comeback?
We knew Tennessee was going to fight for 40 minutes. We played them for the 3rd time now. It's not easy to beat somebody for 3 times in a row. So we knew they were going to come here and put them on fight, so we just try to stay composed, execute the game plan, and do what we do.
going into the finals tomorrow?
A lot, man. I feel like we have a lot of love for each other. We support each other. We want to see each other succeed no matter what. So it just means a lot.
Well, congratulations. Incredible shot for you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Her first career three-pointer. And Gamecock Nation with a sigh of relief.
I'm speechless. And to think about, Camila Cardoso hit that three, the game winner, and have her mother and her sister here. Wow.
They are here visiting from Brazil. Camila Cardoso leaving her home country at the age of 15 to play basketball. Maybe for moments like this, where she helps her team stay undefeated and move on to the SEC Tournament Championship game. South Carolina led by as many as 23. Tennessee erased that, and then Camila Cardoso with the heroics at the end. South Carolina will play for an SEC Tournament Championship tomorrow. They will get either LSU or Ole Miss. That will be our second game, our second semifinal, coming up in about 25 minutes. Tennessee battled back throughout the second, third, and fourth quarters, and South Carolina did not panic with 1.1 on the clock.
And you practice these situations, and like Camila said, she's practiced those, and to see it be successful, man, is that a momentum builder going into the championship game tomorrow.
It's what you want in your first semifinal. Drama, 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 but South Carolina is undefeated still, 31-0. We will see them on Sunday, Alyssa.